Hey folks, welcome back to The Pulse. Today we're stepping into time management. This is something that many people carry into adulthood, so we thought we'd discuss this today. Do you have time for this podcast? Yes! Yes, you do! See? We're already helping.
Um, well, I know like when I got out of high school, I had a lot of problems with time management when I lost my schedule and trying to figure out when I should be doing things. And sometimes I would like schedule everything at the same time, and then I would get really stressed out because I was doing everything all at once. And yeah, so I had a lot of trouble with time management when I first got out of high school. And my mom actually taught me a really good system for making my own schedule and figuring out how to manage my time and what needs to be done when.
Mhm.
That that I found really, really helpful. But I know, or I've heard anyway, that a lot of other people on the spectrum also have a lot of time management issues.
Yeah.
So, um, that's a big reason why I wanted to talk about time management. Also, like in high school, you have everybody managing everything for you. Like your teachers tell you, and your school tells you, okay, you have these classes on these days at these times, and you have to have these projects done by this time, which I also struggled with sometimes because if I had a whole bunch of projects, I would like leave the ones that were due last until last, but then sometimes I was doing everything for them last minute. Yeah, so like if there had been like a class where they taught us how to manage those kinds of things in school, that would have been really cool too.
I know that when I was growing up, I was involved in various activities. So comparing that along with school, because I had different activities on different days, I suppose that helped me with my time management. But I do have a bit of a bad habit of sleeping in past my alarm when I probably shouldn't be. So that is something I'm still currently working on. Um, I'd like to think that I'm somewhat okay for time management uh, in terms of scheduling. Well, for one, thank God for iPhone calendar apps or smartphone calendar apps. Um, I use that to keep track of like my work schedule and such, though I do try to keep a paper copy somewhere as a backup, more for records than anything. Um, I think because when I went to college, I started out with a few courses, it was a bit easier. And then as my when I did eventually get into my program and my course load got bigger, I had a bit more experience with dealing with the time management, maybe. But I think it was also due to the fact that I was involved in various activities that took up a lot of time in figuring out how to handle that on top of school. I think I did relatively okay.
Yeah, sounds like you had a lot of pressure to motivate you.
I think it was in part because of the parental influence, because they wanted me to be relatively independent.
Yep.
I'll be able to support myself.
And so you find that that's worked in your favor throughout your life?
Yeah, but then again, it's also just kind of how my parents raised me because obviously they're not going to be around for my whole lifetime. There will come a day where I won't have them as support. So, yeah, so it's important to be able to take care of this myself. Um,
Kayla, what is your secret?
Um, so about a year after I got out of high school, I had been really, really struggling. And so my mom sat down with me and she's like, okay, we're going to figure out your schedule. And as we do it, I'm going to teach you how to do it for yourself and talk you through the process. And so that's what we did. And we sat down and we figured out, okay, um, what do I need to do for self-care? What do I need to do for cleaning around the house? What do I need to do when it comes to work and the sports that I'm doing and projects that I'm working on and anything else after that. And we made the different lists and we figured out, okay, well, work is on these days at these times and sports are on these days at these times. So house cleaning and everything else needs to be done around these. So um, what um, what days should I clean different rooms of the house and um, what days, because I usually shower every second day. So, what are the good days of the week for me to take my shower, which usually runs around my sports because I get very sweaty at sports. uh, and so, um, yeah, I kind of and so we kind of sat down and figured it out in those from those different categories and what had specific times that it needed to be done and what could be worked around those different things. Um, and uh, and yeah, so like I said, like I usually take a shower every second day, so that was mixed in with my sports, and then like house cleaning. Maybe I would clean the kitchen on Monday and my bedroom on Tuesday, kind of thing, so that I didn't feel like I had to do it all at once. And because that was also very overwhelming for me, feeling like I had to do everything all at once.
Yeah.
Um, so then having the schedule of cleaning different rooms on different days gave me a chance to sit down and relax and not feel so overwhelmed. And it helped me, and like not feeling so overwhelmed helped me actually clean the rooms. Because when I was like, no, I have to get this all done, and then my brain would be like, but it's too much.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
So,
good plan you got there.
yeah. So I found, yeah, just going through those different categories that I mentioned and setting things out for different days was a really helpful thing. And so now, like, if if my sports schedule changes or my work schedule changes or whatever it happens to be that causes changes in my schedule, now that I've gone through it with my mom, I found it a lot easier to create my own schedule from the skills that she taught me.
So you not only figured it out in terms of how you can make a schedule work for yourself, but also how to change it to work for yourself, how to make adaptations to it.
Yeah,
So are these steps that you would recommend?
definitely. For anybody who feels like they have to do everything all at once, like I did, and gets very overwhelmed by that notion, or just has trouble figuring out when to do things, um, and really relies on knowing when they need to do it.
Yeah.
Um, I like I would definitely recommend those steps because they were so helpful for me.
My mom occasionally goes on these, for lack of a better description, cleaning binges. So sometimes she decides to tackle various rooms in the house, but then again, she's at home more now, so she has a lot of time and energy to burn up, I guess.
Yeah, and yeah, and having the time management tools definitely helped with that anxiety.
That does it for today's episode. Come back next week when we get a little deeper into time management and we continue on with more quick tips. As always, if you have ideas or topics you'd like us to discuss, or if you want to be a guest on the show, send an email to voa@pacificautismfamily.com. We look forward to more of your great questions. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.